What's up, y'all? I'm back with another episode, and this is episode 2. And I am super blessed to be here because, listen, I almost quit. Seriously, I had a lot going on this week, and I was like, I recorded the episode a few days ago, a couple days ago, and I listened to it, and some stuff was wrong and off with my mic and everything. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it Sunday. And then Sunday came and I had some stuff going on in the house and doing that. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it Sunday night. And that came and passed too. And now here it is, Monday. And I'm supposed to be dropping every Tuesday. I think I need to change the due date. And not change it, but just really just drop the pressure of having the same day I drop on. I don't know. Tuesday, I like Tuesday. I was born on a Tuesday, it goes up on a Tuesday. So we're just going to keep it Tuesday. But yeah, I just had to call on God. I just had to lean on God because, yeah, I almost was like, okay, they're not going to miss me, but we're not even going to go there. So, yeah, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? I'm doing okay. Today was a hard day. It was a hard week for me. This whole week was hard. My emotions were everywhere, and I know it's because I'm approaching my cycle, and we already know how that go. And I have to it's so bad. I have to check my health app to see if I'm like tripping out for real because the way the emotions be emotioning during this time is crazy. You will be feeling like one thing in the next. I don't gotta tell y'all that. Y'all already know. Pray for me because baby, I feel like every time I get to this week, it's the pregame. It's the pregame that do it. Cause on my cycle, I'm sleepy, tired, don't wanna do nothing. But you know that little week before, oh child, listen. Mm, mm, mm. I wouldn't wish it on nobody. It's confusing. It's so confusing. So, anyways, let's jump on into it. So I know y'all seen. I finally got a name. Name the show. I picked a shot of honesty because one, I'm in a place in my life where I'm really having to be honest with myself because I found myself in a place like, why are people lying to me so much? Why can't I trust anything anybody says or anything that happens? And through prayer and meditation, I heard the Holy Spirit just tell me, like, you ain't being honest with yourself and you putting the blame on everything else. But you really need to start with honesty with yourself. So, this whole journey that I'm on is just about being more honest with myself and with others. For real, more especially with others. But it starts with me. So I chose that to be, the basis of this because I truly just want to have honest conversation, reflections, dialogue, whatever you may call it. I just want to have honest moments about real things, whatever that may be, whatever topics, whatever's going on. I just want to give you an honest perspective how I feel. It's not perfect. It might not be for you, but this is just how I honestly feel. And I know people are going to be like, oh, it's contradicting because you use the word shots. And I don't think you should be using that and on a platform of God. But listen, first of all, in the Bible, they threw many parties, okay? And the wine was plentiful. Let's start there. Second, like I said in my last video, Tequila Shorty, going to take it down. And one thing about that is like when I first got into shots, like it was not easy. Anybody know taking shots is not easy. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And maybe you're throwing back so much what I said. It tastes like water. Okay. I need the honesty to taste like water for me. I need it to go down so smooth, so quick. I want to crave it. I want to be able to be weak without honesty. Okay. I want to know the second I'm feeling some type of way. I need some honesty. this person's depriving me of honesty. This is not an honest honest situation. So that's the inspiration behind it. And we gonna keep it honest. Whether you like it shaken, stirred, on the rocks, chilled, I don't know, straight. I like mine straight. At least I at least I want to. I like my honesty straight. And I'm gonna give it straight. So that's how I came up with my name. And speaking of the last video, I watched it or listened to it, I should say. I listened to it and the amount of times I said was crazy. I wanted to turn it off. I was just like, girl, why is she saying that many that many times? Like, are you sure or are you not sure? Be certain of yourself for real. So I'm working on that. Definitely going to be working on saying because that is not okay. So some of you asked me where is my video, and to give you a short answer, I don't know if I can ever give a short answer, but the reason why I don't have video connected to this right now is one, because I'm just in a place in my life where I'm very busy and I'm just always moving around doing different things, completing tasks, working, studying, so many different things. So like in my real life when I listen to other podcasts, I listen to it on Apple Podcasts. Cause if not, I'll end up, if it's on YouTube, it'll be in one room, I'll be in another, and I'll just have my headphones in or on. Or if I'm like grocery shopping or something, the only place I can hear this is on there. I'll put it in my pocket or whatnot. So I really don't even too much care to see what's going on unless I like truly have time to sit down, and I don't. So this is just me starting where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. However, in the future, I for sure plan on and want to have video. I just need to be in a place where I can build a set and to my liking and have that dedication to put into all those technical issues. And we're growing as we go. We're not going to bite off too much more than we can chew because, like I said in the last one, it was many times I wanted to start this and do this. And when the idea of video came up, that is something that shied me away. So it could also be too that I'm just a little shy, okay? I'm just a little shy. And we working on it. We working on it. We're definitely working on it. So like this video, subscribe, share, all that. Cause when YouTube run me my check, I need that YouTube money for my set. Okay. If you want to see some videos, share this, subscribe, keep watching. Yeah, that's not even gonna go too much because I already can feel it. It is late. So let's move on into this episode. So I wanted to talk about today moving away from so I moved from like I said, the north suburbs of Chicago and Lake County area, and I drove 1,400 miles all the way across the country to Arizona. And it was spur of the moment. It was really spur of the moment. I was in a place where I had to make a decision on what I wanted to do, and leaving was something I always wanted to do. And not just to get away from my hometown, because I truly do love where I'm from. It's no other place like it. It made me who I am. But I don't like the school zones. And my baby is about to go to school soon. He has like a few more months in daycare and he's going to school. So it was really important to me that I can give him something that I felt was valuable. And I just think good education is important. And it's not to say that education, I think the education I got was very helpful in my shaping. However, some of these teachers really don't be the same. These kids don't even be the same. I'm not even going to put it on these teachers. These kids be different. They learn different. They behave different. Their respect level is different. Like, these kids be out of control. And that's another thing that I just wanted to keep him away from, because I don't want my son to grow up like the young kids I see in that environment. And it's no shade, but I just don't want that influence. I know how my mother raised me, and no matter how many T's and I's was crossed and dotted, she cannot help the influence that, you know, came upon me when I left the house. Like, it's just there. And I know it's weird stuff everywhere. And I'm truly, really learning that as I'm out here, because that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, got here, great school, very costly. And they just were not doing what they said they were going to do with my money. And my son was the only black boy in the classroom. And although, like, I grew up in a mixed classroom, like, I feel like we had a good even divide of pretty much Hispanic, black, and white. He was the only one in there. And I don't know what that feels like. I mean, I know as like an older kid to be, or an adult to be in a corporate place or a workplace, or, a venue, or a restaurant or things like that. But to be the only black kid in the classroom every single day, no, I don't know what that's like in a classroom. I do not. So I gave it a try. And my baby was coming home with way too many scars, way too many marks, scratches. And he was picking up a lot of lingo that was like, what? Ooh, he don't talk like that. He's a super sweetie pie. He watched old school cartoons. So I already knew what it was from, and I was not happy about it. And one day I pulled up, and I always kind of peek in on him before I get in there. And I'm looking through the window, and I see like these two little boys. We're not going to go into, what they were, because you kind of already have an idea. But they were both like bear hugging him and trying to throw him to the ground. And my son was like, basically doing football moves, trying to get up out of it. And he eventually got them off of him, and they, fell to the ground, and they hit their little heads or whatever. They started crying and trying to tell on him. And the teacher wasn't even watching. And it did not sit right with me. And then they kind of got mad because my baby said, he told them all to shut up, or he said they were stupid or something. And so they tried to tell me like, oh, could you talk to him, because he was telling the kids to shut up and calling them stupid, and it really hurt their feelings and made some of them cry. And like, yeah, no, he shouldn't be using those words, but he's also 4, and I let him watch Shrek, which probably isn't the best idea for a 4-year-old. That's one of my favorite childhood movies. I couldn't help myself, but I took full responsibility for him saying what he said, but I just didn't like, don't come and tell on my son that he said a goofy little word. He's 4 years old when you got kids trying to throw him to the ground. And if people was on me like that, trying to throw me to the ground like that, I would call them stupid and tell them to shut up too, because you got me messed up. So yeah, took him out of there. He has a homeschooler now. Shout out to Miss Kendra. She is amazing. My baby has had so much improvement. And my favorite part is his manners. Like, manners is on point. Like, I thought I was doing a good job with his manners, but it's something so, what's the right word? It's better when you have a person on your team, because going to school, like, they might preach it, but they ain't really drilling it into them kids. A lot of them teachers don't even have manners themselves. So when he comes home like, mommy, can I have a glass of water? And I was like, a what? He was like, a glass of water? I thought it was the sweetest thing ever, because usually he's like, mommy, water now. I'm like, who are you talking to? Right? And then he's like, yes, ma'am. No, thank you. I'm fine. It's just so cute. It's so cute. So I love that for him. But anyways, so yeah, so I moved here for that reason. And then also just really a fresh start. Like I said, I was ending a relationship. I was really fed up with my job, even though I really loved my team. I just was over a job, like walking into a place every day and giving them so much of my time. Even now, I'm still at a job, which is super irritating. But like what I was saying earlier, like plays into that. Like I go to this place every day and I give them all of my time. And then I'm exhausted when I come home. And then it's time for me to be a mom. And I'm going to do that all the way to the fullest. And by the time that's all done, I don't have anything left for myself. And now here it is. It's about 9:30 over here. I got to get this recorded and done in a timely manner so that I can go to bed. Because if not, I'm going to be trying to rush home and record this tomorrow just so I can drop it before midnight. And that is crazy when this is what I would much rather be doing. And I feel like I'm managing my time so well. I know it could be better because once you get to a new level, you can always go above that. So I know there's more time and more ways I can be even more intentional about it, but I just don't like a job. Like, and I'm not if I'm not trying to tell people or influence people to quit their jobs. I know I don't let me do that, even if you on the verge of doing it. But because really think it through. But like if you have something you're passionate about and it's not what you do for a living, yeah, what are you doing? Because that's how I feel. Every morning I go in there and scan that card. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I'd rather get it out the trap for real at this point. And I just mean like, totally cutting down my cost of living, barely doing anything, barely having anything. And all I do is this and write. And that's it. Because giving another company another 4 or 5 years of me is crazy, let alone 10 or 20. Baby, I'm not an employee. I don't want to be an employee. This is crazy. This is crazy. So, anyways, so all of that came into effect, and I just decided to go. I'm not going to get into the reason why I chose here because that's another episode for another day. And also, I wrote about it in my soon to drop book, audiobook. And yeah, so got here. Grass is definitely greener. However, it's a few it's a few brown patches. It's a few brown patches. Where like before, I feel like that grass was completely brown. I feel like it was dead. And not even a drop of water was gonna bring it back. Okay, you hear me? And and I got here, and yeah, it's definitely way more green. Still brown patches, and I just gotta water them. I just gotta water them and figure this out. However, today's episode was supposed to be centered around that and Mark chapter 8, 23 through 40. Um, and I recorded the episode, like I said, probably 3 different times. And the reason being is because I kept changing or I kept hearing really in my spirit something different. So then I went back and recorded it again. And then I heard something different. And then I went back and started to record it again. And I was like, and pause. We're going to let this digress. We're going to let this simmer because I need clarity. I need clarity before I do this because I'm not trying to get on here and talk about nothing less than honesty. So, besides that being wrong and then me actually listening to all three, I realized that some audio things were messed up anyway. So it was like destined for me to come back and re-record this again. So I'm just gonna hop into it. Mark chapter 8, 23 through 40 is about a man who is blind and he's in this village, and Jesus comes to this village. And when he gets there, the people see him. A group of people see him, and these people know the blind man. So they run and they go get the blind man and they bring him to Jesus, and they're like, yo, he's blind. help him. So Jesus looks at the man and he grabs him by the hand and he leads him out of the village. Okay. Once they're out of the city, he grabs the man by the face, spits in both of his eyes. Crazy. When I first read this, I was like, spit? Man, yeah, no. But as we know, and if you don't know, everything in the Bible is allegory. That's the only way this book can really keep standing the test of time. Like these events happened years and years and years and years and years and years ago, right? But it's the story. There are stories that keep on telling for a reason because there's so many different things that you can find in it that will resonate with you. So when I heard when I read he spit in his eyes, I was like, that's disrespectful. And one, my pastor was, when he was talking about this, he was saying that, you have to remember spit, saliva was medicinal back in those days. That's what they, thought was medicine or contained healing powers. So let's start there, right? However, today and age, that's very disrespectful. I'm pretty sure it was disrespectful back then, or not necessarily disrespectful, but gross. Like, ew. Even if this is how you're going to heal me, ew, right? So if I'm thinking about that to here now, the things that, you know what, let me just keep going. So he spit on him. He spit in his eyes, and then he asked the man, what did he see? The man said that he seen men and they looked like trees walking around, right? So then he places hands on him, and then he asks him, like, I don't know. It doesn't say where. Maybe on the shoulders, his head. I'm not sure. But he places hands on him, and then he says, what do you see now? And the blind man tells him, clear. He can see everything. His vision is completely healed. At that time, Jesus told him to return home. Do not enter the village. Do not go back to that village. Go home. Don't go back to that village. That's what the Message version says. The King James version says, go home. Do not return to that village nor tell anyone in that village. Right? Okay. Boom. So this story messed me up right there because now my wheels are turning. And for the last, I'd say maybe 2 weeks, I've really been contemplating going home because one, them brown patches I talked about, I can't really tell if they big or little. I just know they there and they require something of me, some nurturing, some pouring into they require of me. Right. And in the midst of all that, I've found peace in this microphone. So I feel like I can do this anywhere. I don't care where I'm at. As long as I got my laptop and my microphone and a source of power, I am good at this point. So I've been thinking about going home because I'm just like, at least I know what to expect there. I can make it there. We can do this there. It's a couple things that are pros, and it's hard for me to decide on them because as much of them as they are pros, they are also cons. Like for instance, my mom is there, my family is there. They are a big piece of my son's life. They were my village before I left, and they were very hands on. And right now, I could use a break. I could use a break, or I could just use consistent help during the week on days that I want to record so that I could just come home and get straight to it and I don't have to do too much, right? That's how I see it. And also my baby really misses home. Well, not really, but he really misses his grandma. That's really it. And so I'm just thinking I'm doing him a favor, right? So when I hear go home, that's what I felt, right? And then I left it and I felt good about that episode and I left it. And then I went to the kitchen and I was cooking and cleaning and all that. And then I heard something say like, home is here. It's saying don't return yourself to the other village, because that's the village where you are from home. That's the village. And this is home now. So I'm like, okay, so this is home now. All right, all right. So I came back and I recorded it like that. And then I left and went back to cleaning up and doing laundry. And then I heard the Holy Spirit say, home is where your heart is. Home is inside of you. That's your home. That's your home. If you feel like you can do this anywhere, that's because you're living in you now. You are making steps to live in you. Home is you. And he's telling you to return to you. Don't go back to where you came from. You feel me? He ate. He ate. I wish I could push my applause because for the gunshot, for the gunshots, but I don't think I don't think y'all can ever hear that. I just got this cool little board and it has sound effects. I don't think you guys can hear it. But so yeah, so to break it down even more, okay, so when God spit in his eyes, right? That's mad disrespectful, but he's also trying to heal him. And when I compare that to what I have going on right now, the things that have been going on since I left Illinois is so disrespectful. Like I'm talking about, I feel so disrespect. Ooh, I feel so disrespected. I feel so disrespected. It don't make no sense. I can't listen. Book coming soon, story times coming soon. Cause listen, disrespectful and just disgusting, disgusting in all aspects. Like not one, all of them, every last one of them. So it it also though with all of those things has brought me to my knees several times since I've been here, and my prayer has increased. Um, my meditation has increased. My, time I'm cutting out to read the Bible, like the things that I am being mindful of, that I am consuming, just music, food, television, like and what type of things I'm watching, if I'm on social media, like the type of videos that I'm watching, like just being very, very intentional. I have gone to him because this is hard and I cannot do it by myself. But in the midst of begging for his presence, things just felt like they kept getting worse. But after every time, I would go right into prayer. I would sob and sob and sob, and then I would get back up. And I realized like I'm really increasing my snapback, my bounce back, because I remember certain times in my life where little things would happen or setbacks would happen and it would take me a while to recover. If not the whole day, days, weeks, months, like yeah. So to be going through the level of disrespect that I'm going through right now and like coming back from it so quickly, and not necessarily coming completely back, but just carrying on, not letting it get to me too deep, is going up. It's going up. So, he's using these disrespectful times to bring me closer to him. And I'll go into like my journey another day from like when I think it started, my spiritual journey. But in this phase that I'm in, it's been very disrespectful, and he's had to get very disrespectful to get my attention, because my attention was so many other places besides here. Right? So then when he goes on to lay hands on him and then asks him what he sees and his vision is completely healed, that resonated with me, because as dark as it is right now, that lets me know that like when this is almost over, it's going to feel like a hug. It's going to feel like soft, love, nurturing, gentle, caring. It's going to all come full circle. It's going to be some more lessons, but they're going to be much easier to digest after I just endured that disrespect and that spit. That's what stuck out to me. And in my footnotes of my King James version, he says, they say, their interpretation is that just like the blind man, being able to get half his vision at first, after the spit, and then getting all his vision later is no different from a disciple when he decides, or he or she decides to align with God. That's I almost cursed. He's working on me. That tore me up for real, because in the midst of all my prayer and my meditation in starting this, he filled me with the courage to get me to do this and the boldness to get me to do this. And even after episode 1, I'm like, God, what next? What next? Jesus, like, please, somebody tell me, like, where do I go from here? And it let me know, like, without, not even let me know, but just reiterates the fact that without him, I can't do anything. And I'm on his time, not mine. So as long as I continue to do what I'm doing and allow him to move through me, we'll figure this out. Right? And so, rewind it a bit. When he found the man, he found him inside of this village. Well, he didn't even find him. Some people who know him, some people who are attached to God, and I can relate to that. Some people who are attached to God directed him to the son. Like, he's here. This is your moment. And when I got here, that is how it was. Now, at my old job, me and my old coworkers, we would always pray before work, pray after work, throughout the day. Like, if any of us were going through anything good or bad, we just always say a prayer. And they were kind of like warming me up to it, to just go and stop fighting against myself and my flesh and to lean into it. But I wasn't quite in tune until I got here in Arizona. And when I got here in Arizona, I met my homegirl and she brought me to her mom. And then from there, from our relationship, we have all gotten together and we read the Bible together and we talk about all sorts of things that we read and just how it resonate with us or what we learned from stuff. And I'm so grateful for them, because when I first got here and I was going through my prayer and meditation, like, I was talking to God, but I was still fighting my flesh, still fighting it. And these women, they are a little more ahead, or probably a lot of more ahead in their spiritual journey than I am, or at least just knowing their Bible better than me. And when they're having conversations about it, I'm quiet because I don't have much I can say to that. I can talk about what he's done for me and what I've seen him do for others, but I can't give you none of his words. And that's not a disciple. That's just a Christian, you know? And I want to be like following his lead, not just claiming him for him to rub off on me here and there. Like, I want to be able to have direct access to this man. You feel me? So to have women that are talking about it and me wanting to be able to jump in the conversation, it has motivated me to get deep in my word. Like, know just a couple of scriptures. No, know them, word for word, know them, where they come from, know them. And of course, it's not gonna happen overnight. But I've read many books in my life. I am a writer. I love to read. I love to, especially books that become movies. Like, that's my lane. But this book here is the most interesting book I've ever read. Like, it is literally like the gift that keeps on giving, the lessons that keep on lessening. It does not stop. And then when, like, I can relate something from my life to it perfectly, oh my gosh, it adds so much clarity, so much relief. And whatever it was that was stuck in my mind or bothered me, gone instantly. So I got here and these people influenced me to push harder into him. And when I encountered Jesus, he pulled me out. And so that's why I was thinking that this was home at first, because I'm like, well, I was thinking it was, here at first, or whichever, or whatever, because I'm like, is it my work? Is my work friends, or is it, my Bible study group? Like, which one are these people? I'm focused on everything but myself, because that ain't even really what's important, right? And so he took me away from those people, the same people, or not me, but in the story, he took him away from the same people that led him to him. And I thought, like, why? These people know Jesus. They've seen what he's done. They know God. They know he's working through him. They know. So what's the need to take them away? Why not allow another group and even more people to witness what you've done? So that, more believers, people will understand that this is real. We're going to get to it though. Right? So he pull him out. And when he get out the village, and don't say how far, but when he get out the village, that's when he begins to do the disrespectful healing, the gross, ugly healing. And I resonate that with so much, because whether he's talking about Illinois or he's talking about Tucson, I'm separated still from the both. I'm separated from what I left back at home, of course, by distance. But even here in Tucson, I'm still pulled away from these people and from socializing. One, I don't have the means to, it's just me and my son here. But two, because I don't have an appetite. I just got spit on. I'm going through some dirty, disrespectful stuff. And as much as I'm grateful for these people to show me and to give me the courage, or help me with the motivation or influence to go harder in this, I wouldn't want nobody to see what I got going on. I really don't want nobody to know what I got going on. You feel me? It's ugly. It's embarrassing. The way I have acted the last few years of my life is wild. And the things and the decisions that I have made in this last year or two, wild. You would think the way I move around with no shame, I wouldn't even care about something like this. But y'all gotta understand, that's how ugly it's getting. I'm so grateful nobody is around to see this. You feel me? And I know I'm sitting here telling it to y'all, but it's just much different. Cause one is from a place where it's judgment. And I know y'all can judge me to here too, but you gotta be a crazy person to come on somebody else's platform just to listen to what they gotta say, just to talk negative about them. That's weird. Cause you did not have to listen. You absolutely could have watched the other million trillion videos that are on this here app. So that resonated with me so well. And that's where really the confusion lay. But moving on, after he does that and he gives him back his vision, he tells him to go home. Don't return to the village. Don't tell anybody about this. So I'm confused, because I'm like, is he telling me to go home, Illinois? Or is he telling me to go home in Tucson? And home was the village? Or is home and Tucson is the village? I don't know. I still don't have a decision, but I don't think it's for me to understand, because I really think after hearing home is inside of me, that freed me way more than the other two. Because see, the other two was confusing, right? And my God, this God, our God, is not a God of confusion. God is never going to confuse you. You confusing yourself. He's made the decision. You heard him what he said. It's it's your discipline and obedience. The lack thereof causes confusion. Because do I go home? Do I not? Do I stay? I don't really want to go home, but I do. I don't really want to stay here, but I do. This is confusing. But to hear home is inside of you and it fit like a puzzle piece, yeah. So now if I gotta go home, I'm not salty. If I stay here, I'm not salty. Because he's telling me to go back to myself. He's telling that man to go back home. What's home? Home is the what does it symbolize? It's your safe place. It's where you feel protected, where you should feel most protected, where you go to recharge, where you go to share love. Love is at home. At least it should be. That is what it symbolizes, where you can trust to close your eyes and get a night's rest, and you are going to wake up in the morning from, life and not have to worry about intruders, all types of stuff. That's what home symbolizes from, and that's inside of me. Where I feel most comfortable is inside of me. I say all the time, or it ain't even been no all the time, but I said this last time, I think. This microphone brings me so much joy. Holding this microphone makes me so happy. Hearing myself talk my thoughts out and be an inspiration to people makes me so happy. I've been wanting to be in entertainment since all my life. All my life. And as I grew older and things influenced me and I made certain decisions, I got so far away from that. You know, pulling him out of that village was pulling him out of that old him. That old him that he had been living in, chilling in. That influence of flesh, of society, of this world. He pulled him up out of that. Go home. You know? And then he says, don't go back. Now, why would he tell him not to go back somewhere to a place that was so helpful? These people just led him to Jesus. Jesus just came through this village. What you mean don't go back there? You visit there. You feel me? These people just help me get to you. Why I can't go back there? And I can't say that? That's wild. It doesn't make sense. But for me, it's literally do not go back to your old ways. Do not go back to your old desires, your old ways, your old habits. I've pulled you out of that for a reason. For a reason. You know? That's way more freeing than trying to think about why I can't go back to this village. You know? Being pulled out of something is real. I remember I couldn't get no night's rest. Crying, 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 tossing and turning, scrolling down rabbit holes of videos my timeline showing me because they listening to me talk. Like, and that's even more depressing. Like going, like, man, it was so much. So to be feeling like I'm coming out of that halfway, like when he said he seen trees, he had his vision a little bit. That feels so good. But don't go home, don't go tell nobody. Cause listen, don't tell nobody what I did, not necessarily what I did, but what I showed you. That's for you. That vision I gave you, that's for you. That's for you. Don't talk no more. In other words, be about it. For real, you can't run your mouth. Don't go back and tell nobody nothing, he said. That's for you. What's in your head, in your mind, your heart, I put that there for you. I've given out so many great ideas to people. I put people on to so much like little tricks and trades, little finesses here and there. And I don't even like, not even to put on is the word, because I feel like where I come from, that's a little shady. It has a little shadiness to it. Helped, assisted, gave knowledge to. But I always used to feel like, why don't I never keep any of these for myself? Or even if I'm using them too, why I'm not taking off with this? Why why am I not taking this same idea I'm telling somebody is a moneymaker? Why I'm not using it to make no money? But if it was every other idea, but this one though, for real. This he did this. I didn't do this. I didn't come up with this concept. Right? And what's so important, my favorite part of this story is because when he say he spit in his eyes and asked him what did he see, that boy said he see people, men walking around, but they look like trees walking around. Right? So one, his vision ain't all the way clear. But in between the lines, how he know what a man look like, let alone trees, if he blind? My point exactly. He already had the vision. At some point in time, that man could see. Once upon a time, that man had sight. And he went blind. Had to, or else he wouldn't have been able to describe these things. Men do look like trees, probably if your eyes blurry. You feel me? So he had vision. And to take it even further within myself, I always knew I wanted to do this. I could cry right now, and I'm not going to do it. I always knew I wanted to do this. And life lifed when I was making decisions for myself, making decisions through my desires, through my flesh, through my lust. And to have him come and bring me through so much wild and hurtful things and hold my hand through it all and to give me back what I always wanted, to reveal it to me again and let me know I wasn't crazy as a kid. I've always been there in you with you. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. You know, I hope that if you hearing this and you feel something or some type of connection, you read Mark chapter 8, 23 through 40. Read it, whatever version you want. Read it and find out if you doing what you knew you wanted to do as a kid, like at your heart. Because I would always say to my people, like, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be whatever. But it was one time I said I was going to be an actress. I remember I said I was going to be an actor, actually. And my uncle corrected me and told me it was actress. Females are actress, right? And from then on, I just started doing all things creative, acting, putting on plays in my living room for them, buying play scripts, studying them, reading books that were movies, reading books that have amazing, what's the right word? I don't know the right word, but to just be very descriptive and paint really good pictures and really captivate you while you're reading. Like, that was what I always wanted to do. And anybody who has known me all my life, or even just really getting to know me, I'm extra. I'm so extra. I love to laugh. I love to entertain. I love to, just have people around me having a great time. I love attention. And it used to be to the point where it was detrimental. And I hate to say used to be because that wasn't so far ago. But the work he has done on me and is still doing in me helps me understand that it's not a bad thing for me to like attention. I didn't pick this. There's us who do and there's us who don't, but it's rooted in something. You got to figure out why. I like attention. I like the feeling of people listening to me, learning from me. I like that. I like external gratification, right? We're humans. He made us human. We were born into this, right? So I can't help that. But as long as I'm aligned with God, I'll crave the right attention. I'll seek the right attention, the healthy, the beneficial attention instead of the attention that drains me. Because I feel like that's what I've been doing all my life. So it feels really good. That man used to have sight. I used to know what I wanted to do, and I got so far away from that. I went to college for first time for pre-med, did not last, was everywhere but not focused. Double back and ended up getting a bachelor's in criminal justice. Like, I wanted to be a judge. I did. I definitely did. But yeah, no, it did not resonate with me and my plan. It didn't. It didn't. So get into that, read that. Let me know how it touched y'all. Tell me what you got from it if you read it before. How'd you feel when you read it or what you interpret from it? I'd love to hear. If it's anything I said that you can relate to, let me know in the comments because is this wild? Is this wild? Am I thinking too deep? Am I thinking too deep into it? I feel like it's meant to think deep into, and that's one thing I do for sure. I'm gonna think deep into something. But let me know. Like, tell me how you feel. Okay, so next we're gonna move on. So this weekend, right? I can't. We had a party at work. We had a Halloween party. Woo child was long, and I tried to get out of the party, and I was like, "Oh no, I gotta pick up my baby from school. I can't. Sorry, my throat. I can't stay." And she was like, "Oh no, everyone brings their kids. Your kid can come. We serve dinner. It's gonna be it's gonna be fabulous. Oh, I can't wait to meet him." She knows she don't care to meet him. She don't care. She just gotta hype it up so I feel more comfortable about going. Cause truly, if I wanted to say I'm not coming, it would have been nothing they could have did about it. Nothing. I'm on salary, so let's start there. After hours, I'm not getting paid for this. This is crazy, and I'm sure it's in the contract. But at the end of the day, though, it's not an obligation. You can't fire me over this. It's after working hours. You feel me? It's like saying I can go to a work party and I'm in trouble. Like, we're gonna do this. She knew that. But being that we are new here and he hasn't really had a lot of, interaction with kids since he left that preschool, I was like, bet we'll go. So I went, I had to work a little booth, play some games. I feel like I said, good job, try again so many times. I was yawning after 30 minutes. It was so bad. It was so bad. And the person I was working it with, he ended up saying I could go, and he'll cover it for a while. So I was able to go around and take my baby to some different stuff in there and just have fun with him. But anyways, so I got home that night and it's Friday night, like I said, and Saturday is the day I make content the most. It's my most free day. So I was just trying to plan for the day ahead. And One place that I'm really enjoying right now is Threads. I really like Threads. I recently deleted my Twitter because I've had that Twitter for a very long time. I've been kind of wanting to delete it, and I was being messy. I was being messy on there, and I was just like, "Yep, you know what? We're gonna wrap this up because this doesn't resonate with me anymore." And yeah, so I got rid of it. And I went to Threads and I really enjoyed Threads. Okay, so anyways, I've been on there for about 2 months and I've been seeing people like jump on there and like make one post and they are gaining followers by the second. And I'm like, I've been on here for 2 months and I don't got nothing but 70 followers. And I'm trying to gain a following on Instagram and Threads that will push into YouTube. So I try to just say what comes on my mind there or things in that I might talk about in my next episode to kind of test it out if you say, uh, and nobody really biting. But I think it was because I was performing and I wasn't being honest 100%. And not to say that I was necessarily lying, but like I wasn't being my complete self. I was doing what I thought people wanted to hear and what works instead of what I want to say. Right. So I get home, I'm in the bed, I'm doing that, I'm planning. And I get on Threads and I'm like, dang, I'm like, well, I know this one dude. I'm like, I'm not gonna say his name. I should say his name, but I don't want to tell our conversation. But I got this one of my guy friends. He just got on there and he has only been on there, I feel like, for 2 weeks to a month. I don't even think that long, but maybe a month. And he already has like over 350 followers. And so I'm like, he only been on here for like 2 weeks and he got 300 followers. Now, granted, he promotes parties and he's handsome. And what else can I add on to make up another excuse? But no, for real, he and women show a lot of love too. But that don't take away from the fact that he really be working. He really be working, and the content that he posts is authentic and it's real, and it reflects his life. Um, and he does it, in my opinion, frequently. So I get it, and that's what I wasn't doing, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm finna just write a snippet of my story because like I told you, I'm working on a book, an audio series, and you not you yeah, so I wrote a piece of it on there, just a small piece. Like this is not a chapter, this is not a complete story, this is just a part of a story that came across my mind that I know is in there. And so I wrote it up and it came to about, I think, 12 posts. I just had to keep, tacking them on. You can only put in so many characters. So I did that and went to bed, turned the phone off, went to bed. First of all, when I tell you my phone, I woke up in the morning and I tapped my screen and there was a trillion. I'm being dramatic. I told you I was extra. But there was a whole scrolling row of notifications that just said threads. And so I'm like, what? So I open my phone and I, go to my messages first and I'm talking through my messages. And then I'm like, think to myself, like, no, I'm still sleepy. Let me not even get too deep in this. So I put the phone back down and go back to sleep. And as I'm sleeping, like my phone is like, zzz, 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 zzz. Like it, like, for real, I had to make the noise on the microphone because what? It's like I woke it up. Because at first I wasn't hearing none of that. And it was like the moment I opened my phone, like the ding, 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 like it was going nuts. And so I'm like, oh my God. So I'm nervous because I'm like, what if everybody, if, first of all, follow me on Threads. My Instagram is at a girl Drago. You will, my Threads is the same thing, but you'll see it right up there. That's my personal one. I haven't made one for my writing name yet, or my YouTube, I should say. But yeah, so I wrote a piece of it on there. And so I'm just thinking like, man, these people are probably telling me I'm stupid. You got to read the story. They're probably telling me I am stupid. What was I thinking? I'm dumb. Um, they're probably talking about the other person in the story, like terrible, like, oh my God, what did I just do? Right. So I'm low key scared and I'm not opening anything. And at that time, it was about 7 in the morning. And so I went back to sleep and I woke up and it was still going. And so I'm like, okay, let me just open it. So I go to the app, I go to my page, and I see that I now have like 170 something followers. And I'm like, what? But I won't go to the notifications that talk about or tell you about replies and mentions and quotes and all of that. Like I just wasn't ready to see what people were saying. So I'm just looking at the follower count and I'm like, oh my God. And I know that sounds small, but that was big to me because that was my goal, right? And so I did that and I'm like, I turned it off. I just closed the app out. I knew I was supposed to be doing laundry, got up, started doing laundry, did laundry, phone is still going off. I'm playing I'm playing my gospel music. Then I turned that off. I started listening to some more service. Then I turned that off. Then I turned on a different playlist. Like I'm just doing so much to try to stay busy because I really want to look at what these people are saying. But I'm so scared because I get discouraged so easily. I hate that when I put what people say and how they feel, in importance. I'll take the criticism so harshly and then I'll shut down. And I'm working on that. But that is an obstacle. So after so long, I couldn't take it. So I go back to the app. It's probably about, I don't know, 4. And I look at it and I'm up to like 250 or something at that point. So I'm like, okay, God, I'm praying. I'm thanking him. I'm also asking him, like, show me what do I do with this? Like, what's next? Like, what? I did not hear anything. I still haven't heard anything, and I'm still waiting on that answer. I'm gonna get it very soon. But yeah, so all in all, by the end of the night, 24 hours later, I had went from 70 followers to 393. I think I went to bed 393. I was in shock. And I spent some time talking to a lot of the people that were commenting on it. And for the most part, everyone was more curious and promoting my writing than name calling, right? There were so many people like, this is such a good story. Where's the rest? Like, no, come back. So what happened? Tell me, what did you do? Like, and that was like a hug, right? Because I've always felt like nobody's going to care about what I write about. Nobody wants to hear this. Who reads books anymore? Like, who listens to urban fiction anymore? Who listens to, these type of stories? Like, everybody's into self-help books. Who listens to stories anymore? Like, you got to do it this way. You got to do it that way. Like, and to see so many people take the time out to read 12 posts and want more and asking me for more, let me know that I'm doing what I want to do. It's not about anything. I did it tastefully. The story is true life, but I did it tastefully. I did it tastefully and I told my truth. And I received way more support than negativity. Now, there, of course, were people in there saying I was stupid, saying that this was, not making sense. This was dumb of me. This, whatever, random, goofy things. However, there was no one telling me to stop writing. There was no one telling me that this story was like trash. Like the the composure of it was not. They might have felt like what was going on in the story was trash, or the way it ended, it was trash. But but they still took the time to read it to the end. I grabbed their attention for 12 posts. That meant everything to me because as a person who wants an audio series, a book, like my whole, I can create whatever art I want, but to make a living off of that is up to how you guys respond to it. That was, my mind was blown. I was texting my best friend like, girl, what? Shout out to my best friend. I love her. She, that's my twin. That's my wife. That's my husband. I'm the wife. That is my baby. I just, I'm just, I can't believe that I'm getting this and I'm doing this. And it's the opposite of all the things I thought could go wrong. So I'm going to write more of those and put them on there. And they won't be the complete story ever. They're always going to be a snippet of it because you have to read my book. You have to listen to my audio series. You have to follow along to get the entire story, right? But if you want to hear or see sneak peeks or know just like what I write about, follow me on Threads. That's where you can find it. Which brings me to, I went to bed with 421 followers. Thank you. Went to bed, no, woke up this morning. 421 followers. We're, we're going up. And so, and shout out to my homie. I hit him up and I told him, like, seeing you have that many in such a short period of time gave me enough motivation to be like, F it. We finna do it. We finna do it. We just gonna do it. It is what it is. And we gonna keep doing it. Oh well, because we can't eat, sleep, think, drink, nothing without being ourselves, without following our dreams. We can't do it anymore. So I thank him also for the inspiration to be that last straw to tip me over because I'm thinking like, okay, it's gonna take me 2 weeks to get that. And I did it in what, 24 hours? And it is not it's not shade. It's more of a comparison is really the thief of joy. Seriously, because here I am comparing it to him. He's very inspirational, but here I am comparing my results to his results. Still in my own joy. That man on his own path, doing his own thing. I'm on mine. Like, and it was just a reminder to keep looking ahead. Life is literally like driving. You drive the whole way looking in your side mirrors, you're going to get in an accident, period. You spend the whole time looking in the rearview mirror, you're going to get in an accident. You got to do all three, but you mainly got to do what? Look ahead. Look ahead to see what's right in front of you. Know where you're going, definitely. But you got to look at what's right in front of you. Live in that moment. Do that, right? So follow me on Threads, at a girl Drago. It's going to be more stories on there. I'm going to also um, release things on YouTube, some story times on YouTube as some marketing for my book um, and audio series. And yeah, we're going to grow into that too. So you'll see another playlist on here. As long as you have your notifications on my channel, you are going to be up to date. Yeah. Um, to close this up, I just want to say, there's another one. I just want to say, I'm in a season of quitting. I'm in a season of quitting, and I don't think I'm the only one in the season of quitting. And it ain't just about quitting a job. Because, like I said, I know everybody doesn't need to quit their job. But what in your life can you quit for real? Like, quit arguing, quit going back and forth, quit being mad, quit being sad, quit being lazy, quit being out of shape, quit being unhealthy, proving yourself, not loving yourself, putting up with other people more than they put up with you, lying to yourself. Quit lying to yourself. I'm talking to myself. I have to quit lying to myself. I have to quit letting people have access to me. I have to quit doing certain habits and certain things around the house or with my phone or in my health journey. Lacking. Just quit lacking. For real. We not doing no more lacking. For real. On everything. We not doing no more lacking. Well, I'm gonna leave it there at that. It's late. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it real short. If you like this episode, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share it to a friend, If you have any letters you want to write me, I got a few letters. So I'm excited to read those. Those are coming up. If you have any stories you want to share with me, send me an email. My email is in the description bar. Turn your notification bell on. I'm trying to remember everything, right? And talk to me in the comments. Let me know what your favorite part of this episode was. Let me know how you feeling about it. What's going on in y'all life? I want to keep this interactive in a two-way street because who takes shots alone, right? We don't take no shots alone, right? So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. This was a great time, guys. I hope you have an amazing week. I hope you find some time to talk to God, talk to yourself, make some hard decisions, grow in your faith. Open your Bible to whatever place and read it. Stop trying to please people. Ignore the haters. Listen and trust your intuition. Trust your higher self. Trust your higher God. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do it. Start it. Go for it. Until next time, y'all have a good night.